We are here at the scene. We're standing on the hill where we saw him. We think we see more of him right now. We're gonna walk to him, but we want to show you the area and where he was. So you can see the H on the hill. You can see the layout matches exactly where he would be. We see where he would be right here. We already see a specimen. And there's a few more over here that we're gonna actually look at. But we're gonna show you one right here that we did not grab. You can see it right here. So this seems to be the spot where he laid to rest, or animals took him to this spot, but it seems like his body is spread a little bit over this area. So we wanted to show exactly, to walk around first to show you exactly all the parts. So here's another piece. Here's another piece right here, we believe. We're gonna have to really look. But this seems to be the spot on the hill where he was brought. You can see that this might be a piece right here. There also might be a piece right here. These are all pieces that we left for a reason. Look, here's another one. Here's some more. It's all on this hill. Here's another one. You can see where he lay. So we're wanting to take documentation of a video first before we start grabbing, because we know he's up here. He's all over here. You can see here the burnt object. And you can tell this could be bone, this could be him. So this is where we started to find him. You can see right here. He's still, a lot of him is here. This could be. We would have to look at the contents, because when everything burns up, it gets pretty hot and it's hard to tell. We can see the certain pieces. So we just want to show you for sure. You can see that it's bone. And it's all over here. And he's scattered, so we're gonna walk around this way now. You can see that he might be a little bit right here. Maybe even a little bit right here. These are still areas that we have to really carefully examine. You can see pieces here and here. As we walk farther back, you can see pieces here. We're gonna scour this hill, but so far up here is where he's at. See, look at this. Look. We're showing you live as we do this. Look. This is him. We were too afraid to pick up the rest because we know the law. That's why we're trying to abide by it. That's why we had to do all of this. legally because we wanted to help. And we wanted to document all of this. Because as you can tell, the burnt objects from the regular coral, because there is a lot of coral on this hill. And we're finding a lot of pieces still, so we're documenting everything so that if anything happens while we're here, we can show the video and show what we're doing. We would rather have the video because he's definitely here, and it looks like he was just placed here and left, almost like if animals drug him here, or was this the actual spot? Because this is where he was appearing a lot, was on this side of the hill, and as you see, his bones are all over this side of the hill, and maybe down here a little bit more. We have to look on this side of the hill. As you can see, maybe a piece right here even. Look, you can see. So we are documenting where we're at over here, right by the dirt road that goes straight up to the H. Like I said, we can take you guys back to every spot that we have located everything out here because we enjoy what we do, very much so. And we think this guy needs to be found, all of him. He deserves, look how far down the hill. And you've got more here. You've got more here. So as you see down the hill, oh, look at this. Well, we have a little bit of nature over here as we're locating. Even a dead lizard is over here. So, that's fresh. So we just want to actually acknowledge that certain signs that are given around the land as well. So we are very spiritual. So we just want to take you guys with us to reveal the spiritual happenings as they happen. And now we're going towards the dirt road. We don't see much over here on the dirt road that we can see. But we're looking around. We don't see anything on this side, hardly as much. Oop, wait a minute. There's one scattered way over here. So all of these are specimens that need to be studied really closely. Maybe, possibly. Nah, that's not. That could that could possibly. So as we start looking around, as we start coming back over, look at this, see? Look. We are glad to have you guys with us. We are glad to be answering a spiritual investigation over here because this guy deserves to be laid to rest. And the history about this place, with not only red, but with the dinosaur bones out here, we can show you the bones. Look, just as we walk forward. Look right here. You see this? That's a bone right here. That's a good specimen to look up. So we're gonna put this on the side. We will make sure the landowners know about this, but we're gonna put this where we can get back to it because these are good specimens. right here, and we don't want to see any of this destroyed because people come up here and ride around with their four-wheelers and motorcycles and everything, and they're just destroying it up here, not realizing what's going on. And there are many spirits out here, not just Red. Red's story is just one. There's still some ancient bodies out here that might be giants. So as we scour the area, we're only getting the full story before we start removing the bones so that we can be assured that he can rest in peace and that you guys are here witnessing with us so that we can tell you guys the whole story and show it to you live. And as you see the rock that we investigated, we're going to upload that video shortly. You can see what hills we're looking at, exactly where we stand, right near the dirt road that goes in between each hill of the H. So if these locations seem to fit historical evidence, which we are really trying to unveil around here, then we have our guy, and he's scattered amongst all of this. Maybe we're hoping not too far. We're hoping not too far at all. But you've got bones scattered all over out here. You've got dinosaur eggs, you've got petrified wood, you've got meteors that can fill the planetarium and the university and a museum. You've got so many meteorites out here you can't even count. And there's still some palisite meteorites out here. We came across them while walking, so we know they're there. And we know right where they're at. So I don't see anything walking off this far in this direction. It all seems to be localized on the hill. We're coming out a little farther just to kind of survey the area. The eggs, the dinosaur eggs and stuff, you can see the area. Look at the rocks. These would be rocks to study because these are where the eggs have been broken in this area. This is where we were trying to save the eggs in this area because one of them we found was a turtle egg, we believe. The others may be either pine cones or they link to a triceratops or maybe even possibly a T-Rex. But before we get that far, we're just basically looking and observing in the area. And then we're going to unravel the story slowly as we go. We're just going out farther just to make sure. Here you have a bone right here, we believe. So while we scour the area and just kind of walk around and show you not only the bones, but kind of the eggs and the area around, this area has a rich history of not only this poor guy, but up here is where we found the axe head. In fact, we found the axe head right here in this sagebrush, just lying there upside down as if somebody went to go swing it, lost it, or maybe somebody put it there to try and hide it from anybody else finding it. But a spiritual person like us comes through and we're led to certain areas, and we just happen to look where we look, and we found the battle axe, we found the spearhead matching the mammoth bones, and you can see the round rocks here that look like eggs. And so these would be the areas that you would want to investigate. And there's tons of cropolites out here. This might be a little bit. That's a piece to investigate as well. But we can take you to certain areas where it looks like these would be eggs. So these would be other areas to investigate with the landowners, because these are just really kind of cool. You know, you don't see stuff like this much, and you've always dreamed about finding stuff like this. Then you see where people come up here, they break stuff, and this is just wrong when you find this, because people don't understand what history can do and how it can teach everybody, even about the areas. Even look at all the, we believe some opalized wood is with all of this. And you can see it's very colorful. We believe there's a lot of wood mixed in with this. Look at this. And maybe even a meteorite. So as you can see, the crater slammed right here. Looks like this might be a meteorite. Should we take it with us? Should we keep it here? But that looks pretty fresh, because you can see the hole right, or well, the slight slamming of the rock. You can see the crater all around. So see, this area is really good to study. This might be a specimen. So I really want to look at this specimen here. So we would really want to see more about this specimen. You can see the metal reflections in the dips of this stone, and you can see where we picked it up at. This is a crater. So this might be a meteorite. So we're gonna just keep this for a second. We're gonna share all the meteorites that we found. We only sold a few, but the most expensive ones and the awesome ones we still have for a reason, because we are gonna share it with the landowners. We're not stingy with everything we find, but we are gonna let them know about what exists on their land. They have to. I mean, there's just so much out here. Between this land all the way down to the railroad tracks, going all the way across, not quite out to that rock out there, and not quite out to the H, but this whole land right in front of these three hills where I'm standing all the way forward. So we're gonna walk back this way now. And you can see the areas that would look like they would be really good to investigate for eggs. This is where we found a lot of the cropulites up here along this area. So we know there's bone up here, there's still egg. There is a lot of broken stuff up here, like people came up here and broke a lot of eggs, maybe thinking they were hollow and had crystals in the inside, not realizing they were breaking dinosaur eggs. So as we walk around this area, you can see how rich and just how awesome, and you can see how hollow. You see this rock right here. You see the curvature of it. This could be an egg. In fact, this one right here, you can see the detail of the ridges and the bumps. This might be another egg. But you can only see the ridges when you look across and how the light reflects. This might be either a pine cone or an egg, but you see the coprolites right here. This is a coprolite. A dinosaur came through here, and well, it had to go. So we're gonna set the meteorite down right here. We're gonna pick this up just a second. We're gonna show you the coprolite, and then we're gonna put it back down, because this is just awesome history out here. Other than the stories of what we hear, we can take you across here and you can keep going and find all sorts of eggs. There's even, look at this coprolite right here as we're talking with you. See, there's coprolites all over out here without even having to walk very far. And you know if there's coprolites. Look at this piece. Okay, so we're gonna take this piece and this piece. So we're documenting what pieces we're picking up from the landowners, and we will make sure that they know and they see what we're doing, because these are just cool things that they may want to have. So we're all the way out, just barely around the hill, and we're coming around. This is the spot on the hill where he starts to be scattered, is right here along this hill. So this is interesting how you have everything all the way around. You have parts of the town. You have parts of the railroad and where we're at exactly. So we're gonna grab as much as we can here in just a little bit. Most of the ones that you saw in the video, we're definitely gonna grab those. Then we're gonna come back around. We got the meteorite and the coprolite for the owner. And so we can show him everything that we have, that we found. And you can still see there might be more bone. Look at this. So this is that hill we were finding him in. And so you can see that these are definitely things to study as far as, are they the bone or are they just burnt coral that got burnt up? But right now we know we're on to the bone artifacts. We can see the coral. I mean, you can tell the coral. The coral is really easy to tell. And you can see how it's shaped. So the coral's really a luxurious sight to see out here, because you see some of the land was underwater. But yeah, this whole upper part up here. So before we walk into any more areas, we're just taking a quick gander so we know it starts from the side of this part of the hill. And you can see where we're standing, where you can see both hills. You can see the contents of the picture of where red was. This is definitely the area. You can see the resemblance in the land. So now we're going to stick the meteorite and the coprolite over here as we get the evidence. And you can see we stuck them right here by us. Now we're going to document taking red. So right here, we're gonna make sure that we document every bone that's being removed for the owners. That even might be an egg. You see this? Nope. Well, that's interesting. We're gonna leave that there. That would be an interesting study. Here we go. So you see where we're finding him. Or them here. Oh, Red, we're glad to have found you, bro. We thank you. Sorry, all the bugs are flying around out here. And we're gonna walk down the hill a little bit to make sure. Yeah, you see this? So he's scattered a little bit everywhere. He's kind of like over on this side mainly. Oh, look at this. So you see? This is sad. This is really sad. Even to the fact that they would leave someone out here. Some of this, it's a mixture of coral and bone, so it's like trying to get most of it. But you can see how, whoop, here's the other ones. He's right here. Right here. And you can see maybe another part here. Like I said, these are all parts that need to be studied. And you can see what we're picking up here just to make sure. And you can see the pores to see this is bone. Now we're walking over here on this side. Looks like there's a piece here. Piece here. And you can hear them. You can hear them. Listen. You can hear them. So we're showing every little bit that we're trying to get of Red, because we were led to this spot and he deserves a resting place. You can see every piece we're picking up of Red. These pieces need to make sure okay, so like I said, as we come around, we're gonna come down a little bit. This might be a piece right here. Nope, that's a copper light. That's a copper light. We're gonna put that back. This is a possibility. Possibility. We're now walking up along this ridge. You can see the burnt pieces here. Look at this. This is sad, everybody. This is sad. You can see the pieces here. And you can tell they're burnt. This is really sad. You can see parts here. Look at this. The parts that we're unsure of, we're going to leave just to be on the safe side, but the burnt parts that we can see, we're definitely going to pick. You can see it was bone. This is so sad. We're also looking for parts of jawbone because we've seen that out here. So we don't know what happened to all of him. We're hoping all of him is out here so we can put it all to rest. And as we pick up each piece, we're showing you guys that it's burnt and that this is him. And there's no other burnt pieces that are over here. We're sorry, Red, you had to be up here for so long around everybody. And nobody even know you were up here. So we are documenting the full video. And you can see more over here. So we're gonna pick up all the pieces that we can see. We won't leave here until all of red is picked up. We're going to examine the other ones later on, but we're just looking for specifics. See? We're losing light. So as you see red being removed, you can tell the spirit is showing signs that he's watching, and so is God. So maybe not all of it might be, but it's some of it. But we know it all looks, and it all has that look that it's bone. So there's only one look. I mean, you can see the look here, and you can know that what's coral. See, you can definitely see the coral in the other parts over here. So we're sorry, Red. We're so sorry. Nevada, you are witnessing with the story of Red and where he might lie. Crap. Sorry. That was the alarm that was going off. So see, that was interesting. So as we were speaking about things, look what happened. Interesting, huh? So yeah, that was our alarm to our vehicle in the background. So far, we are making sure to get pieces that look like it, and then we'll have to go all over later on. Damn, that might be a spine. Oh man, look. Oh, this is sad. Oh my gosh, this is sad. So we're taking a walk over here on this side now. See how we miss? We're making sure to get everything as much as we can, as much as we can see, because we don't want anybody, once we document this, we don't want anybody to come back and try and find Red. And if you find any pieces, when we get the story out, let us know. Any extra eyes over here is going to be a good thing. So we're going to grab the stuff that we know looks like it, then it can be examined later. And as you can see, even way out here, right here, these could possibly be. And you see, there's only one look of a burnt object out here, and it might be Red. So that's kind of iffy on these. On that one, kind of iffy, but we'll take it just in case. It looks like coral, but we just want to make sure that it's not. You see the coral, the shape of it? So you can see what's coral. And we know we're gonna miss a little bit of pieces, but as we reveal which ones are only burnt, you can see there's very specific looks. Yep. Gotta blow off the little creatures on the end. You can see this might be a piece too. Nope. Nope, that's not. So some of these pieces might not be. Then you have other pieces that really need to be looked at. Here you go, here's another piece. Here's another piece. Oh man. Look at this, guys. Oh man. We are sorry, Red. You never know how much bone a person can have until you're actually gathering it. Now we just need to see. That sure looks like the appropriate. So you can see pieces here. Possibly here. Possibly here. Here. And possibly here. Oh, this is sad. This is really sad. You can see how you can easily almost miss stuff. You can see there. That might be. Even if it's not, we would rather be safe than sorry. We see another piece up here. We're gonna go up towards. We see some more right here. Hold on. We're going up. There's more right here. This looks even like bone. You can see the burnt. It's really right here, concentrated right here. So we're gonna put in another little pile. Look at this. Oh man. So we're gonna keep a pile of them right here so we can know exactly where we're putting each pile. And then, oh man, look at this. Oh, poor Red. Oh, poor Red, poor Red. Oh man. This is a sad day indeed. We need to make sure this is not bone right here. Oh man. So we want to make sure this isn't bone. That right there is a start of a pile. Then you have more here. Then you got another one here. Jeez. And we're walking around really slowly. We're observing where all the burnt objects are, so we can make sure to get every single piece and document everything that we pull from this area. And we're going to verify what is, what isn't. Oh man. And you just look at this. So, wow, guys. This is the whole body up here. You can see. Maybe more right there. Look at this. So we need to definitely have this looked at. So see, he's a little bit scattered over here. See, there might be a mixture here going on between bone and coral that got burnt, but we know some is bone, some's going to be coral, but we need to definitely look just to be on the safe side, because these are definitely bones. They resemble bones by the way they look. And this is really sad. So we are documenting everything that we do, that we grab. Landowners, did you know you had this out here? Look at this. That might be, it's got that kind of look. We're just gonna, just in case. So as we come walk out here, you can see part out here. Some meteorites out here too. Looks like we're getting most of it. We're now scaring off any of the wildlife around us by walking around to make sure there's no snakes around, because we know how the snakes are out here. So as we keep walking around and observing, we want to make sure that there is no more to grab of this, that we want to make sure to grab as much of the story as possible so that we can put all of him to rest. So as we keep walking up this way, here's another copper light. That's a nice one. We'll bring that one with us for the landowner as well. So you see, hold on, let me come around here. Okay. That might be. And the copper light's pretty nice. We're gonna put that right next to it over here in this pile. So we've got 2 piles starting so far. All right. So we're gonna come up over this way. We're gonna scurry over here this way. Like I said, we want to make sure he's all out of here because he's been through enough, guys. And that might be. So some of this, like I said, might be coral. It's got the hole of bones right there, but it's kind of hard to. It's got that look, doesn't it? So see, we're grabbing what looks okay. So as we scurry a little bit more over the ground, we can see a little bit more here that we went over. This is really sad, guys. Now we just want to make sure that's coral. You can see where the fire scorched a lot of stuff, where it melted all together out here. We know we've got most of it. We're just looking around right now just to make sure. You can see we're out here by the dirt road. So we're coming up and coming around the bend here. We just want to make sure that we find all that we can. We know we're not going to find every exact piece, but every time we're out here, we will make sure to look. All the coral, look at all the coral. And we know there's tons of history out here, tons. Between the dinosaur eggs, between the copper lights, and between everything else, my God, guys. We would definitely be out here excavating this land every single day. We would put a tent out here. You wouldn't be able to get us off this land. I mean, we've always dreamed about going out and finding dinosaur bones. Little do we know. And that would be an interesting piece to study right here. So we're just keeping the walk around here to make sure. So we want to make sure to get every single piece. There's still a lot of meteorites out here, all over where we're walking. We can see them where we're not going to get any. There's tons. There's so much here. You could have an inventory up here for years. You wouldn't be able to put enough in the planetarium and have enough in the lab. We also wish to help maybe create a local lab to actually test meteorites here locally. We'd like to actually learn all that stuff too. That would be kind of cool. Rather than having to mail them all off somewhere else, you could do it locally. Okay, so we're seeing that we should have most of them up here. We're not seeing them much more. No. So we're walking in between, walking really slowly. See? There's another piece. So he's scattered throughout this top of the hill, it seems like here, and you can see the direction. You can see the railroad over there. You can see all around where we are. So this seems to fit everything, huh? This looks like, you can see how the fire just melted everything up here. Look at this. I mean, lots of copperish, turquoise looking rocks out here. All right, so we're scurrying down the hill here. Sorry, we're using a little bit of southern and talk here while we roam around. We're just gonna give a shout out to Georgia and to Waffle House and say hi, everybody. We still remember everybody, and we told you guys about the Philosopher's Stone. All of those who were listening, here's more of them. Look at that, all right here. More here. Ooh, big piece here. So we're gonna come back to that. Actually, we're gonna try and get that because we don't want to miss that. All right. So far, most of this should be ooh-wee. So far, we've got this pile, and we've got all of the other pile. Man, this is just crazy how much is here. We're gonna come up over here. We're gonna show you guys the other pile, but we're wanting to walk around this way. See, there's still more. There's the little wildlife. So it's awesome and very spiritual when you see wildlife around you. The one dead let me represent to know that he's definitely here, that something killed it, put it there. But when a spiritual person walks across that, there's death in the area, and that's letting us know. So we're glad to take you along with all of us. And all of us, meaning there's a lot of spirits in this land. See, look at that, more. More here. So bits and pieces. This might be more than red here. I don't know. This can one body hold this much bone? Jeez. Like we said, some might be coral, but we would rather be safe than sorry. And we want to make sure he's resting good tonight, because we know he doesn't rest very well when he's out here, and he doesn't like being out here. He doesn't like being out here at all, and we don't blame him. We wouldn't want to either. Look at all this. See, here's still more picking up of him. And then we're gonna grab one pile, and then we're gonna grab the other pile, and then we're gonna put them in the truck, and then we're gonna take it home, take pictures of it all. We're documenting all this for the channel, for YouTube, and for the state, because he needs to be at rest and his story needs to be brought out. And be careful what you guys might look at down here, because we know there's turtles. We know there's turtles out here. We have a few of those for the owner as well. All right, so it looks like we're pretty much wrapped up with most of the bone. And now we keep walking around just to be on the safe side. And you can see we have the sun the whole time. You can see the shadow on the ground. We asked for light, they gave us light, because it's very hard to see in a dim atmosphere, very hard to see. And the light just makes it really easier to see everything very fast. Okay, so it looks like we got most of him. We prayed before we came out to locate all of that we could from him. We said a prayer over his body, and we asked both our Lord Jesus Christ and, well, this looks like a bone, huh? Look at the pores, but we're going to leave that there. That's not quite the ones we're looking for, we don't think. We're going to leave those there, because a lot of this is looking like coral up here, but we are just making sure. And just think, there's a lot of spirits out here, and we're trying to find why they're so restless, but there's something out here that causes them to be restless. We know there's graves out here that are unmarked. They really want to be known. Their stories want to be known. So we're just slowly going over here. Whoop. Here's some more. You can see here, this looks like that might be all right. So coming down a little bit more. Yep, a little bit more right there. And there's more here. Now, like we said, some of this might be coral. You can see the coral right here. Looks kind of similar. Ooh, that's a big one. We want to make sure to get all the ones that we are drawn to as far as the look of